Welcome, everyone. I'm Mike.
I'm Ben.
I'm Ruben.
And I'm Michelle, and we're the host of the Four True Crime Idiots podcast.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Are we ready for this case, guys?
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Yes.
What we cover today?
Rodney Alcala, dating game killer. True psychopath we got here.
Yep.
Oh, really? He is real bad. I've only brushed up on
him.
Because anything that I came across, it was just only what
he did.
What he did, yeah. Never.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He was real bad?
Yeah.
Like real bad? But he had more than just one victim?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was a serial killer.
Oh, I didn't know, like I had said. I knew about that one victim. I didn't know he had several. But I think it's because anytime they mention him in any kind of like thing that I'm watching, a true crime, they don't really mention any other, just that one.
Yeah, he was a serial killer.
He just had a bunch of pictures.
Yeah, he had a bunch of pictures.
He was a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
And in all those pictures, did he kill all those girls, or he would just kind of like...
That's what they don't know.
They're not sure.
They're not sure, yeah.
Wow.
They could just be random pictures or pictures of his victims.
What a piece of work this guy is, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now let's move on to the Idiot Criminal Club.
Welcome to the Four True Crime Idiots podcast, Idiot Criminals Club. And here is today's Idiot Criminal Club inductee. Take it away, Mike.
Fugitive busted after applying for job at New Jersey Sheriff's Office by Natalie O'Neill. Posted October 7th, 2022. She closed at least one case, her own. A fugitive wanted for fraud was busted when she walked into a New Jersey Sheriff's Office and asked to be hired, according to police. Naima Johnson, 27, a former Postal Service worker from Jersey City, was on the run for the crime, according to the Jersey Journal. She sent in paperwork to a security guard at the law enforcement agency. She was called into the station under the guise of a job interview and arrested Tuesday, County Sheriff Frank Scaleri told the outlet. After the alleged foolhardy fraudster was busted, the officers allegedly discovered 2 stolen credit cards, and she was also hit with credit card theft charges, Shirley said. Prior to applying for the job, she was also wanted on 10 bench warrants for failure to appear in court on traffic charges in Jersey City.
So you think that they were going to check her background?
I think
Right.
not, right? That's crazy.
I know.
She
Just
closed
wasn't
at least
thinking.
one case, her own. I like that part. Wow.
Welcome to the Idiot Criminals Club.
Yep.
How stupid.
She is.
I don't know, man. I think this one
That
might take
was-
the cake.
I know. That
That's
was
funny.
very brazen of her to do that.
I wouldn't.
Right? If I had a warrant, you know what I mean?
She had to have known, right? There's some
You
people
have to
who
have known,
Yeah, you have to.
you have to have known.
right?
But yeah, that's true. Maybe not, because a friend of mine, well, ex-friend of mine, her dude didn't know that he had a warrant out still.
Yeah.
And he got pulled over and he got arrested. Yeah.
Did he know?
No, he didn't know. He said that he had thought that they had dropped it, or they had just,
Yeah,
for whatever reason. I was like, wow, that's crazy,
that's funny.
right? Maybe she didn't think they were going to do background because it was just a security guard job,
What the heck?
right? But it's a sheriff's office. I'm pretty sure they do
She-
backgrounds on
Yeah,
everybody
of
there
course, yeah.
before you go in.
Mm-hmm.
How weird.
All right, so let's start talking about the dating game killer.
Ronnie James Alcala, born Rodrigo Jaquez Alcala Bucor, dubbed the dating game killer, was an American serial killer and sex offender who was sentenced to death in California for 5 murders committed in the state between 1977 and 1979, and received an additional sentence of 25 years to life after pleading guilty to 2 homicides committed in New York in 1971 and 1977. While he has been conclusively linked to 8 murders, Alcala's true number of victims remains unknown. It could be much higher. Authorities believe the actual number is as high as 130.
Wow.
Oh gosh!
What a piece of work.
Yeah, man.
And all those pictures that he has that he had taken, how many were reported missing, if any were?
I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
They're just assuming he had that many, right?
Yeah.
For them to think that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Alcala compiled a collection of more than 1,000 photographs of women, teenage girls, and boys, many in sexually explicit poses.
That's because he said he was a photographer, right?
Yeah.
In 2016, he was charged with the 1977 murder of a woman identified in one of his photos. Alcala is known to have assaulted one other photographic subject, and police have speculated that others could be or murder victims as well. Prosecutors have said that Alcala toyed with his victims, strangling them until they lost consciousness, then waiting until they revived, sometimes repeating this process several times before finally killing them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mhm.
So far we know that he murdered one and he assaulted another one
And took thousands of pictures.
and took thousands of pictures of other
Women,
teenage girls and boys.
Your boys.
Yeah.
I wonder if they had to go through all those photos and try to find every single one.
I know it must have been hard though.
Had to be
Yeah.
because not knowing because they were in different states too, right? Or was it
I
all
think so.
right?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
They all travel. Serial killers.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's where the 130 number comes from.
Maybe.
Get some trouble.
Yeah. And all the different pictures of the different people.
Yeah.
That's why I don't travel.
And that's why I don't talk to nobody.
One police detective described Alcala as a killing machine, and others have compared him to Ted Bundy. Alcala is often referred to as a dating game killer because of his 1978 appearance on the television show The Dating Game in the midst of his murder spree.
Oh, wow.
And this flag list you won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And that's
Yeah.
a ballsy move, though, too. Because if she was supposed to be his next victim, everyone and the mother saw her on
And
TV.
I heard that she didn't want to go out with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she
had,
refused.
she had second thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame her. Her intuition was kicking in.
She thought he was acting weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
She
Creep
listened
away.
to her instincts.
Yeah.
Saved her life.
Yep. It's like this little video that I saw on a Facebook video. It's something about don't judge a book by its cover. And it's this young girl, she's running and she drops some money.
Mm-hmm.
And this heavyset guy, picked it up and was chasing after her to give it back to her. Right?
Yeah.
And she had thought right away that he wanted to like he was giving her the money and she thought he was like trying to pay her off to go have sex with him. I don't know what. And he was like, I'm just returning your money. So this other young dude shows up, right? And pretends that that's her boyfriend and I don't know what. And turns out it wasn't. It's just so the guy can back off. And he convinced her to, after the guy left the money, took off, right? And so that young guy convinced her to get in his car and take her home because she just lived down the street. And she was like, oh, okay, thinking, because he's skinny, young, and cute.
And he helped her.
Yeah, and sure enough, he was like, he passed her house and and then when they passed the guy and she threw the money out and she was being real ugly with him, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, she was like, my house is sorry. He was like, oh, well, I have to go back to my house to finish up some work. I'm going to take you with me. And she like started freaking out. And she was like, oh, well, you can just drop me off right here. I'm going to, go and I mean, I can just watch it. He's like, no, it's okay. I'll take it back when I'm done. And we'll pretty much know how that video was going to end.
Yeah.
So I was like, man.
Yep.
Because she knew. I wonder how he was doing to act weird.
Right.
I wonder if he was asking like weird ass questions.
Maybe.
What are you wearing underneath?
Yeah.
What do you like to how's your favorite sexy pose? And maybe he was just giving off some weird ass energy that she was just like, I'm good. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about his early life.
Rodney Alcala was born in San Antonio, Texas, to a Mexican-American couple, Raul Alcala Bacor and Ana Maria Gutierrez. In 1951, Alcala's father moved the family to Mexico, then abandoned them 3 years later. In 1954, when Alcala was about 11 years old, his mother moved him and his two sisters to suburban Los Angeles.
So his father just moved him from San Antonio to Mexico.
To abandon them.
And then abandoned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What the
abandoned him
heck?
like 3 years later?
Yeah.
I wonder if he came back in his life at any point, you think? His dad? Or he just took off and it
I
was
think he
never
just
heard from
abandoned him, yeah.
Wow. And then after that, they moved to Los Angeles.
Yep.
I wonder, did they say anything about his mom remarrying or,
I don't think so.
right? She
Yeah,
just
I don't
got
think
him
so.
and took him.
To Los Angeles, yeah.
Wow.
In 1961, at the age of 17, Alcala joined the United States Army and served as a clerk. In 1964, after what was described as a nervous breakdown during which he went AWOL and hitchhiked from Fort Bragg to his mother's house, he was diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder by a military psychiatrist and discharged on medical grounds.
Oh, wow.
The military didn't even want it.
So he wasn't really talking with anyone during his military?
Yeah.
And when they're a clerk, they're just more in the office area?
Yeah, I think so.
I wonder why he was freaking out, though. Or was it a ruse
To get out of
to
there.
get out of it?
Maybe.
Because, I mean, he wasn't so antisocial taking pictures of
Yeah.
100,000 people there.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
True. It's not really 100,000.
I know, I'm just being sarcastic.
But that's true. He wasn't antisocial then.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have to go up to someone and be like, hey, can I take a picture of you?
Yeah.
I mean, unless he was being really crazy and just taking pictures without permission.
Oh, yeah, being all creeple and from afar.
Who is he taking pictures of?
Of those people.
Random girls.
No,
Oh.
not, I'm just
Not
saying.
when he was in the military.
Nah, not when he was in the military. I'm
Okay.
saying, like, because when he
And-
got out,
He was taking pictures in the what they call the bunkers.
while they're sleeping. Oh,
Yeah.
flash.
Yeah. After leaving the Army, Alcala graduated from the UCLA School of Fine Arts and later studied film under Roman Polanski at New York University.
When he wanted.
Yeah, he got in trouble for it.
Underage.
Yeah,
Right.
man.
Yeah.
Was that before or after Sharon Tate?
I don't know.
That's funny.
Maybe before.
I think I might have been before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it while he was filming Rosemary's Baby? No, because he was with her while he was filming Rosemary Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it might have been during one of his other films, I think.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Here's a little pervert.
Yeah.
Pedo.
Damn pedo, man.
So when he worked under Roman Polanski, like he actually like talked to Roman Polanski and that was his teacher or?
I don't know.
I know he
I
studied.
didn't even know about that.
Yeah, I didn't know about that either.
Wow.
Great points.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about his early criminal history.
Alcala committed his first known crime on September 25th, 1968, when an eyewitness in Los Angeles called police after watching him lure an 8-year-old girl named Tally Shapiro into his Hollywood apartment. When the police arrived, the girl was found alive, having been raped and beaten with a steel bar. But Alcala had fled.
Yes, asshole.
Wow.
8-year-old.
1968?
Mm-hmm.
That's when it started? Poor
That's him.
girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't even the detective was emotional.
He was?
The couple that found her,
Uh-huh.
he got emotional.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God she was found alive. Can you imagine? And thank God for the eyewitness who wasn't afraid to call the cops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another thing.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Most people wouldn't.
Yeah, they were just minding their own business.
Yeah.
To evade the resulting arrest warrant, Alcala left the state and enrolled in the NYU Film School, using the name John Berger. In 1971, he obtained a counseling job at a New Hampshire arts camp for children, using a slightly different alias, John Berger.
Well, you
Or
are.
you instead of, like hamburger.
Yeah, instead of a.
That's stupid.
Yeah,
But again, he's around kids.
yeah,
That's scary.
yeah.
I wonder, so this was in Los Angeles when he hurt the little girl.
Yeah. And then he moved to New York.
And now he went to New York. So I wonder if the detectives and the police station there in Los Angeles put out what do they call them?
All points bulletin.
There you go.
APB.
You know, just describing him.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he talked to the landlord. And I mean, I would hope they would go to the family and asking the mom or the sister or somebody for a picture of him.
Yeah, from Tubby?
Yeah. Obviously not if he was able to work
Yeah, but I think, I don't know what it says it later, but
with
they
kids.
moved to Mexico.
Oh. And I don't blame him. But I mean, like, isn't it kind of worse?
Well, I would have hoped if they didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You'll probably read more.
Oh, okay.
You'll find out.
In June 1971, Cornelia Michelle Crilly, a 23-year-old TWA flight attendant, was found and strangled in her Manhattan apartment. Her murder remained unsolved until 2011. The FBI added Alcala to its list of 10 most wanted fugitives in early 1971. A few months later, 2 children attending the arts camp noticed his photo on an FBI poster at the post office.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
But can you imagine seeing your teacher on one of the 10 most wanted
Right.
at the post office and you've been hanging out with him like all day?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the parents? Man.
That was good that they posted it up.
I
Yeah.
know.
Alcala was arrested and extradited to California. By then, Shapiro's parents had relocated their entire family to Mexico and refused to allow her to testify at Alcala's trial. Since the authorities were unwilling to charge him with an attempted murder without their primary witness, Alcala was convicted of child molestation and sentenced to 3 years. Alcala was paroled in 1974 after 17 months.
Yeah, so she might have gotten more, right?
Yeah, he probably would
If
have.
she would have testified.
More than likely.
The parents
But-
should have let her testify.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I guess they didn't want to relive that.
Why they do that?
They probably didn't want to relive that experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that, but I mean,
Yeah.
They
let him get away
themselves
with so much.
Yeah, but she didn't want. I guess they didn't want to put her to death.
put it, or themselves too. Can you imagine
Yeah.
having to hear
Yeah.
what happened to your daughter at that age?
Less than 2 months after his release, he was rearrested for assaulting a 13-year-old girl identified in court records as Julie J., who had accepted what she thought would be a ride to school. Alcala was again paroled after serving 2 years.
I guess he got paroled because it's just an assault, but it's not. I mean, it's not a 13-year-old girl, dude.
Yeah.
He like sexually assaulted her too.
I'm thinking.
Yep.
I guess the laws were lenient back then. It's a shame.
It is. It's a shame that he keeps getting out. I don't know
Yeah.
why he keeps getting out. I wonder how long they would have given him if the little girl, the first victim, had testified against him.
Quite a little bit more. Yeah,
It just-
probably longer.
Longer, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure how much longer.
But I wonder, like, during the paroling time when when he's up for the parole and they do their meetings and whatever.
Yeah,
I wonder if he was such a smooth talker that,
probably.
right? That's why he
Yeah.
was able to get released. Like, oh yeah, he's changed. He's good.
Mhm.
Let's
That could
go
be.
and release him.
Yeah,
I wonder if those parole committee felt stupid.
probably.
Man.
After Alcala's second release in 1977, his Los Angeles parole officer took the unusual step of permitting a repeat offender and known flight risk to travel to New York City. NYPD cold case investigators now believe that a week after arriving in Manhattan, Alcala killed Helen Jane Hoover, 23-year-old daughter of Herman Hoover, the owner of the popular Hollywood nightclub Ciro's, and goddaughter of Dee Martin and Sammy Davis Jr.
That
Wow.
parole officer, man.
Hmm.
Why would they let him?
I don't know. It's like the system was failing everybody left and right, man.
What's wrong with that man?
No.
I don't know, man.
Or at least accompany him,
Dumbass.
Yeah.
find a parole officer up there to say like, okay, but once you go in there, you're gonna have to go and check in with this dude.
Yeah, but he should have gone anyways.
No,
He should have been
really.
out.
I wonder why they did that.
He's known for hurting children. He shouldn't even be allowed anywhere.
And that girl got killed.
Yeah, look right away.
Her remains were found buried under heavy rocks on the hillside overlooking the Hudson River, about a half a mile west of the Phelps Memorial Hospital in North Tarrytown in Westchester County. In 1978, Alcala worked briefly at the Los Angeles Times as a typesetter, and he was interviewed by members of the Hillside Strangler Task Force as part of their investigation of known sex offenders. Although Alcala was ruled out as a Hillside Strangler, he was arrested and served a brief sentence for marijuana possession.
I didn't know that he was looked at as a hillside friend.
Learn a new thing every day.
I didn't know that either.
No.
Nope.
What is a typesetter?
Lays out text in preparation for printing or publishing.
Oh,
So he laid out how the newspaper comes out, I guess.
yeah.
And the magazine. What was he working for? The Los Angeles Times. That's the paper, newspaper, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So after New York, he went back to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That's what I'm reading here.
And he got a job at the Los Angeles Times.
During this period, Alcala convinced hundreds of young men and women that he was a professional fashion photographer and photographed them for his portfolio. A Times co-worker later recalled that Alcala shared his photos with workmates. I thought it was weird, but I was young. I didn't know anything, she said. When I asked why he took the photos, he said their moms asked him to. I remember the girls were naked.
Really?
Right?
Mr. Anti-social order.
And the
Disorder.
mom's there.
I know.
What the hell?
Well, we all know they didn't ask the mom. Obviously, he somehow persuaded them to do it.
And that was like justified? Not justified, but that was like
She believed
okay.
it?
She believed it? Yeah.
Right? I think I would have been like, why would the mom say okay?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
That's kind of
Damn
weird.
weird, man. Weirdo.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they did say okay, which they didn't,
Yeah.
you would still report that?
Yep.
You would think that they would.
So that's when he started taking the pictures.
Yeah. No, and mind you, he did it with women, teenage girls, and boys.
Yeah.
Man.
He said he was a professional, so in my mind I was being a model for him, said a woman who allowed Alcala to photograph her in 1979. The portfolio also included spread after spread of naked teenage boys, she said. Most of the photos are sexually explicit and most of the subjects remain unidentified.
Oh yeah, their parents just wanted sexually explicit pictures
Yeah.
of their kid.
That's crazy. He must have been very charming man.
Right.
Very charming.
Police fear that some of the subjects may be additional cold case victims. In 1979, according to later trial testimony, Alcala knocked unconscious a 15-year-old Monique Hoyt when she was posing for photographs.
I know, man.
This guy was nasty, horrible.
That's bad.
Yeah, man.
It would be nice to kind of know the backgrounds of these victims. Like if they were
Prostitutes.
not prostitutes so much, but maybe like homeless in a way, like runaways.
Yeah.
To get him to, maybe he kind of lured him like, hey, well, look, if you let me take your picture, I'll give you this much. You have a place to stay.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go get you some food.
Yeah.
Especially with the boys. You know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah.
God, that's good. Let's talk about his dating game appearance.
In 1978, Alcala was a contestant on the popular game show The Dating Game. Host Jim Lang introduced him as a successful photographer who got a start when his father found him in a dark room at the age of 13, fully developed. Between takes, you might find him skydiving or motorcycling.
Was there like a sexual innuendo right there?
Fully developed?
No, read the whole thing.
That is weird.
Yeah, it is.
Am I the only one that sees it like sexually?
Between takes, you might find him skydiving and motorcycling. Well, that fully developed sounds kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, fully developed. What do you mean in dark room fully developed at age 13?
That's what I'm saying. It
does sound weird.
Sounds kind of weird.
Yeah.
Unless he said it like as a joke, but I mean, that's a different joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A fellow Bachelor contestant later described Alcala as a very strange guy with bizarre opinions. Alcala won a competition and a date with the episode's Bachelorette, Sarah Bradshaw, who subsequently refused to go out with him because she found him creepy.
And
like I said, what he was saying, or
so I don't know how those dating game shows go, but like she picked him, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder afterwards if they have to go in a room and sit down and talk for a bit
before they go on
a date.
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe that's why she kind of sensed and picked up on something that she didn't feel right about.
Yeah, because she picked him, so
yeah,
that's true.
At some point, they had to because she found him creepy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe she saw something in his eyes.
Follow your first intuition.
Yeah.
You got to deal with psychos.
Yeah.
Criminal profiler Pat Brown, noting that Alcala killed at least 3 women after his dating game appearance, speculated that this rejection might have been an exasperating factor. One wonders what that did to his mind, Brown said. That is something he will not take too well. Psychopaths don't understand the rejection. They think that something is wrong with that girl. She played me. She played hard to get. She wanted to live.
So I might have like
pushed him to go kill 3 other
women. Yeah.
He was on point because no one rejected him when he was taking naked pictures of them.
True.
You know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah.
And then it kind of makes you think too, if maybe those people that he killed, maybe they rejected him in some way also. Maybe he made advances on him and told him no, and he got mad and killed them.
Yeah.
That's true.
Starting with the little girl, maybe she started fighting back, and when she saw what was going on,
Yeah.
and he got mad and did what he did, and then 13-year-old, and then the 15-year-old,
Yeah.
and in between there's how many women in between just that one, right? When he went back to Los Angeles or New York, where he
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
right?
When the probation officer let him go.
Yeah, and then he killed the daughter of the nightclub.
Yeah. That's when the parole officer let him go.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Samso murder, arrest, and for 2 trials.
Robin Samso, a 12-year-old girl from Huntington Beach, disappeared somewhere between the beach and her ballet class on June 20th, 1979. Her decomposing body was found 12 days later in the Los Angeles foothills. Samso's friends told police that a stranger had approached them on the beach, asking to take their pictures.
Man, because back then in the 70s and early 80s, parents were all like, yeah, go and come back at this time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was crazy back then.
Detectives circulated a sketch of the photographer, and Alcala's parole officer recognized him.
Is this the same parole officer that let him go to New York?
Well, I don't know, man. That's true.
That has to be.
Right.
Because you know what? So he went to New York, and then he came back. Where's Huntington Beach?
In California.
California.
Yeah, by Los Angeles.
Yeah. So he went to New York just to go kill and come back?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then he came back to hurt this poor little girl? Yeah.
His parole officers part to blame.
Yep.
I guess the parole officers were very lax.
We were lazy.
Yeah, back then.
Mhm.
Because from what I hear, parole officers now are very, even if you go for a simple little drug traffic or whatever that, not drug traffic, but like, if you're even in there for like a little bit and you get out
Mhm.
and you're assigned one, they're very like,
Strict.
like they're really on you.
That's good.
Not this one, obviously.
Yeah.
During a search of Alcala's mother's house in Monterey Park, police found a rental receipt for a storage locker in Seattle. In the locker, they found Samso's earrings. Alcala was arrested in July 1979 and held without bail.
You know what I like to know?
What's that?
Is if they got after his parole officer at all. If he was held responsible in any way or allowing him.
Or probably not.
Because I would like to think that if he was in jail for molestation of kids
Yeah.
and he got out twice, that they would make sure that he
Wouldn't go anywhere.
was I guess sex registering wasn't up then. When a sex offender, with kids,
I
they
guess
have
it
to.
wasn't like a big thing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if his parole officer got reprimanded in any way, like
For
You
not being
lost-
stricter.
you lost your job because you just
Or demoted.
demoted, or I want to go with lost your job.
Yeah.
You had one job to do and you failed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, although they should have put him in those prisons where when those countries that they still do the firing squads when you're on death row, that would have been good for him.
Yeah.
They should put all pedophiles over there.
That's what I was about to say.
But I think the firing squad, I think I heard that they put one bullet in one gun, right?
Yeah.
There's like certain amount of people with guns, but I think they put one bullet in one of the guns. Or they should at the same time.
Oh, and whoever had it gets it.
Yeah.
But like,
I think that's what I understood.
what are they aim though? Because like, what if
Or
it's
you actually kill them.
The heart
the
problem.
heart?
Yeah. Whoever has the bullet doesn't know.
Oh, so they just someone randomly puts it in there and
They
then
have the gun on the bullet.
wow,
I think that's the way it goes. I could be wrong.
that's
Let me
crazy.
know if I'm wrong. I would put like
Want it?
full magazine. and it's good.
Right.
Yeah.
That
No.
that's the wrong gun.
For pedophiles and shit.
Yeah, pedophiles for sure.
In 1980, he was tried, convicted, and sentenced to death for Samso's murder. But the verdict was overturned by the California Supreme Court because jurors had been improperly informed of his prior 6 crimes.
But how is that a bad thing though?
That is true. Why is that a bad thing?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Why can't they know?
Why can't they know? Were they informed before or during his trial? Because if they were
No, but
informed,
they weren't informed.
unless they read about, but they would when
Oh, they were improperly informed.
Oh, like,
how were they
Maybe before
improperly?
they went to trial.
I guess that's weird.
But I thought when they ask jurors when they're selecting them, like,
Yeah.
have you heard of this guy? Have you heard of this case? Have you heard? No.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they,
Huh. So, I see what you're saying now, I think.
Yeah.
They're saying, like, they talked about it before. Like his other cases?
Yeah.
Is that
yeah,
what-
they were, I guess they talked about his past sex crimes. But somehow it was presented in a way that was improper, and it had the juror already deciding, like,
He was guilty.
but at the same time, though, too, even if they didn't know, well, even that shouldn't, either way, because of that, he got out again. And again, the system sucks.
Oh, yeah.
He killed and raped a little 12-year-old girl. I think that sufficient alone should have kept him on the death, or at least life in prison without parole.
Yep, but they kind of like, I don't understand what what's going on here.
Yeah, me neither.
People just talk about it, I don't understand. They already heard about him, so their minds were already set
Yeah.
that he was guilty.
Yeah.
That might
So
be.
it wasn't really fair for him,
I guess so.
That's the only way I can see it.
right?
Because other than that, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So you think maybe because what I was asking is like, when you get summoned to go for jury duty, I don't know. Do they ask you like, do you know this person? Do you know about this case to see if you're like are going to favor him or not?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Or if you do, they're like, okay, well then we don't need you because you know too much about this case, and we need people who don't know
Yeah.
like exactly.
Or not influence either way.
Yeah. that they're going to sit and listen to the whole, both sides to determine.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe these jurors heard about it already
And yeah,
somehow.
or we're told about him.
Or maybe, they were told about him. Maybe because you're not even supposed to talk about the case if it's a big one, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
In 1986, after a second trial virtually identical to the first, except for the omission of the prior criminal record testimony, he was again convicted and sentenced to death. In 2001, a Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals panel nullified the second conviction, in part because a witness was not allowed to support Alcala's contention that the park ranger who found Samso's body had been hypnotized by the police investigator.
So they took off his death penalty? Is that what I'm understanding? Again?
I think
So
so.
he just got convicted, but this time
He was found guilty again. No.
But they nullified the second. Yeah, so he had to go on trial the third time.
Oh, man.
Even then,
Even then, man. What a son of a bitch.
This guy's getting away with everything.
I know. I was just going to say he's been getting off left and right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lost to how this guy's been getting off scot-free.
Mm-hmm.
Would you all say he was worse than Ted Bundy?
I don't know.
I don't know. They're both pretty bad.
That's a pretty good question.
Now we're going to talk about additional victims.
While preparing their third prosecution in 2003, Orange County, California investigators learned that Alcala's DNA, sampled under a new state law over his objections, matched semen left at the murder scenes of two women in Los Angeles.
He was all against that.
Of course.
Worse.
Additional evidence, including another cold case DNA match in 2004, led to Alcala's indictment for the murder of the four additional women.
So right there, that's already 6.
Yep.
Plus.
Yeah, 2 and yep.
4, right?
Mm-hmm. Now it's into DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Can't hide from that.
Jill Barkham, 18, a New York runaway, found rolled up like a ball in a Los Angeles ravine in 1977, and originally thought to have been the victim of the hillside strangler. Georgia Wickstead, 27, bludgeoned in her Malibu apartment in 1977. Charlotte Lamb, 31, strangled and left in the laundry room of the El Segundo apartment complex in 1978. And Jill Parenteau, 21, killed in her Burbank apartment in 1979. All of the bodies were found posed in carefully chosen positions.
Wow, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 more. But that's already 10. All of this could have been avoided.
Or the parole officer.
Yes.
Or
not even that. If he could have just stayed in jail, just like, I don't know, the first time around.
Another pair of earrings found at Alcala's Seattle storage locker had residue that matched Lamb's DNA. During his incarceration between the second and third trials, Alcala wrote and self-published a book, You the Jury, in which he claimed innocence in the Samso case that suggested a different suspect.
What's up with these serial killers going to Seattle?
I don't know.
The Hillstraits family went, right?
Yeah. Washington.
Yeah. Yankees.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
Gary Ridgway.
It attracts a lot of killers.
Now Alcala. Yeah.
He also filed 2 lawsuits against the California penal system for a slip and fall incident and for refusing to provide him a low-fat diet.
Slip and fall incidents.
They beat him up.
Let's move on to the third and joint trials.
In 2003, prosecutors entered a motion to join the Samso charges with those of the 4 newly discovered victims. Alcala's attorneys contested it, as one of them explained, if you're a juror and you hear one murder case, you may be able to have reasonable doubt. But it's very hard to say you have reasonable doubt on all 5, especially when 4 of the 5 aren't alleged by eyewitnesses, but are proven by DNA matches.
That doesn't make sense at all.
Listen.
Because all the DNA was matching, his DNA was matching them.
It was dumb.
It was dumb. He was probably trying to confuse the jurors with his lawyer lingo. But as this lawyer, I wonder if it was hard for him to represent him, or knowing that, he did do it because obviously there's evidence, and having to try to prove that he didn't do it.
Yeah.
But having to represent someone, knowing the crimes that he did to those little girls, especially the little girls. I mean, it's hard enough to hear it when it's an older woman, much less when it comes to kids.
Yeah.
But having to prove that he was innocent of all that?
I don't think I will be able to do that.
Me neither. I think he was just trying to say, Like, because there was no really eyewitnesses to some of them, but just his DNA. But, like, really?
That's enough for me.
I know. Like, someone's gonna go steal his DNA and go place it on these and try to put it on him.
In 2006, the California Supreme Court ruled in the prosecution's favor, and in February 2010, Alcala stood trial on the 5 joint charges. For the third trial, Alcala is elected to act as his own attorney. He took the stand in his own defense, and for 5 hours played the roles of both interrogator and witness, asking himself questions, addressing himself as Mr. Alcala in a deeper than normal voice, and then answering them.
What a moron.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A weirdo.
Imagine being a witness to that, though.
Right?
I wonder if he was like coming up and off the seat.
Right? Go sit down.
Stand up, sit down.
That's funny.
Can you even ask yourself questions?
Well,
He did.
He did. So, yeah. That's the fact that he changed his voice.
I know. Put it deeper.
During the self-questioning and answering session, he told jurors, often in a rambling monotone, that he was at Knott's Berry Farm applying for a job as a photographer at the time. Samso was kidnapped. He showed the jury a portion of his 1978 appearance on the dating game in an attempt to prove that the earrings found in his Seattle locker were his, not Samso's. Jim Mills, the actor who competed against Alcala on the show, told a reporter that the earrings were not yet a socially acceptable apportionment for men in 1978. I had never seen a man with an earring in his ear, he said. I would have noticed them on him.
He said he had them on
Yeah.
during the show.
They were trying to say, yeah, he was trying to say, like, those are his and not hers.
Oh, I gotta see that video again.
Yeah.
I don't think he had earrings.
Right?
I don't think he did.
They weren't.
In any of the pictures that they show him, he's not wearing any kind of earrings, I think.
Yeah.
But he appeared on the show before or after Samso?
I think before.
Before Samso, right?
No, it must have been after.
After,
He was trying
right?
to prove.
Yeah, it was after.
He was trying to prove that he had the earrings before.
Yeah.
This guy sounds so stupid.
Alcala made no significant attempt to dispute the 4 added charges, other than to assert that he could not remember killing any of the women. As part of his closing argument, he played the Arlo Guthrie song, Alice's Restaurant, in which the protagonist tells the psychiatrist that he wants to kill.
So he sang a song in closing arguments.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
That's weird.
After less than 2 days of deliberation, the jury convicted him on all 5 counts of first-degree murder.
why did it take that long?
The first day that he was questioning himself, if I was the juror, would already convicted him of just,
Yeah.
put him away and just don't let him out.
A surprise witness during the penalty phase of the trial was Tally Shapiro, Alcala's first known victim.
Oh. So she
She
did
came.
eventually came back.
Yeah.
Maybe she's of age now. I can make her own decisions.
Yeah.
Or maybe the parents felt she was old enough to be able to
And she wanted to keep him in prison.
keep him in prison. Not only that, but she was strong enough to
Do it.
to talk about it. But also too, I wonder if she was beaten, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if she had any kind of like memory loss a little bit.
Maybe.
She doesn't like she remembers but can't really like pinpoint certain stuff that were asking her.
Yeah. I think she wanted to do it so she can,
Stay in jail.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I saw like a show on her.
Or if she did she come out on the show?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I Survived the Serial Killer
Oh.
on ID.
Oh
People
yeah, that's
magazines, right?
Yeah.
People
People
magazines.
magazines, surviving a serial killer. Richard Rappaport, a psychiatrist paid by Alcala and the only defense witness, testified that borderline personality disorder could explain Alcala's claims that he had no memory of committing the murders. The prosecutor argued that Alcala was a sexual predator. He knew what he was doing was wrong and didn't care.
So he got the death penalty for a third time. Hopefully it's the last.
I hope
Right?
so. Jeez.
Should be.
That was his last one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on to the unidentified photographs.
In March 2010, the Huntington Beach, California, and New York City police departments released 120 of Alcala's photographs and sought the public's help in identifying them, in the hope of determining if any of the women and children he photographed were additional victims. Approximately 900 additional photos cannot be made public. Police said because they were too sexually explicit.
That sucks.
So out of the thousands and something, only 120 of them could be shown.
Mhm.
Psycho.
Yep.
In the first few weeks, police reported that approximately 21 women had come forward to identify themselves, and at least 6 families said they believed they recognized loved ones who disappeared years ago and were never found.
Oh,
Man.
21 came forward and
Mhm.
said that they were one of the women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, they were lucky.
Very. None of the photos were unequivocally connected to a missing person case or unsolved murder until 2013, when a family member recognized a photo of Christine Thornton, 28, whose body was found in Wyoming in 1982.
Oh, wow.
As of July 2022, 110 of the original photos remain posted online, and police continue to solicit the public's help with further identifications.
I'll try to post those pictures online on their social medias.
Now we're going to move on to additional associations, charges, and convictions.
New York State. After his 2010 conviction, New York authorities announced they would no longer pursue Alcala because of his status as a convict awaiting execution. Nevertheless, in January 2011, a Manhattan grand jury indicted him for the murders of Cornelia Creeley, the TWA flight attendant, and Ellen Hoover, the Cyros heiress, in 1971 and 1977, respectively. In June 2012, he was extradited to New York, where he initially entered not guilty pleas on both counts.
He's still trying to say he's not guilty.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man, hold up to it.
After all the evidence and
So they were going to go after him?
yeah, because he was already convicted
Okay,
and he was on death row.
I see.
Okay, but like how many crimes did he commit in New York? Was it just that one?
2.
2?
Yeah, I think so.
This might be a dumb question. He was found guilty in California, right?
Yeah.
And sentenced to death.
Uh-huh.
And what if New York did pursue charges on him and he was found not guilty on those? What happens?
I don't know.
He's just found not guilty in there, but goes back to.
Yeah, he just goes back to California.
Okay.
He's guilty over there for sure.
In December 2012, he changed both pleas to guilty, citing a desire to return to California to pursue appeals of his death penalty conviction. On January 7, 2013, a Manhattan judge sentenced Alcala to an additional 25 years to life. The death penalty has not been an option in New York State since 2007.
So they weren't going for death.
No.
No, they should.
In Washington, in 2010, Seattle police named Alcala as a person of interest in the unsolved murders of Antoinette Whitaker, 13, in July 1977, and Joyce Gaunt, 17, in February 1978, along with the unsolved disappearance of 20-year-old Cherry Ann Greenman on September 14, 1976. Alcala rented the Seattle area storage locker in which investigators later found jewelry belonging to 2 of his California victims in 1979. Other cold cases were reportedly targeted for reinvestigation in California, New York, New Hampshire, and Arizona.
Oh, Arizona.
The hell
Wow.
you doing? New Hampshire.
Remember, he was that counselor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Psychopath.
They never mentioned anything about Arizona.
Oh, yeah, that was a new one.
Man, he must have been all over the place.
Mm-hmm. So I think he did quite a bit of murders in Washington, too.
Yeah.
More young ones.
Yeah, man. Pervert.
In Seattle.
Now San Francisco. In March 2011, investigators in Marin County, California, north of San Francisco, announced they were confident that Alcala was responsible for the 1977 murder of 19-year-old Pamela Jean Lamson, who disappeared after making a trip to Fisherman's Wharf to meet a man who had offered to photograph her. Her battered naked body was subsequently found in Marin County near a hiking trail. With no fingerprints or usable DNA, charges were never filed. But police claimed that there was sufficient evidence to convince them that Alcala committed the crime.
Fisherman's Wharf. I always thought that was in Seattle. Isn't that where they throw the fish around?
Yeah,
That's something else, right?
yeah. That's something else, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if they still do that.
Yeah, I think they do.
I'll cut all those fish. No drops.
Have you seen this guy's catching?
Hey, man, I'm the greatest receiver. I catch long bombs. I'm going to Wyoming now. In September 2016, Alcala was charged with the murder of 28-year-old Christine Ruth Thornton, who disappeared in 1977. In 2013, a relative recognized her as the subject of one of Alcala's photos made public by Huntington Beach PD and NYPD. Her body was found in Sweetwater County, Wyoming in 1982. but was not identified until 2015 when DNA supplied by Thornton's relatives matched tissue samples from her remains. Alcala admitted taking the photo but not to killing the woman, who was approximately 6 months pregnant at the time of her death. Thornton is the first alleged murder victim linked to the Alcala photos made public in 2010. The 73-year-old Alcala was reportedly too ill to make the journey from California to Wyoming to stand trial on the new charges.
Oh, he drives his ass.
Yeah.
He got his ass to Wyoming.
Right?
Yes.
That's plenty of horses.
And lasso him.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Plenty of horses.
Drag him.
I was about to say like old cowboy days.
Yeah.
Behind a horse.
Son of a bitch.
Nope. Joke, man.
So he has pictures of her, but he didn't kill her.
Yeah.
But he did these others.
Psychopaths.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. She was showing then.
Yep.
Wow.
So those were all like additional like potential murders
I think so.
Potential.
and murders.
Yep.
Yeah, because I wonder if they ran his DNA against what they found on them.
Probably.
I would hope they did.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to his death.
Alcala died of unspecified natural causes in Coracan, California on July 24, 2021, at the age of 77.
And that pisses me off because he died of natural causes while all these poor innocent victims.
So it's tortured.
Yes, thank
Yep.
you. He deserved the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve to die of natural causes.
No.
He deserved to die in hell.
Yes.
Let me
Well,
tell you something.
he is in
Oh, he's
hell.
going to hell.
He's already in hell, yeah. He should have died a horrible death.
He should have.
He got to live way too long.
Mm-hmm.
He got away with too many things.
Yep.
Too many things.
People died because of the parole officer.
Yeah.
Lack of, I don't know what you call it.
Times were different back then.
Yeah, but still.
Stupidity reigns.
Yeah.
It's just common sense, man. If somebody's convicted of child molestation and stuff like that, like, you don't let them go anywhere. You keep a closer eye on them.
All right, well, he did this that Cali girl. He should have been in prison more
Yeah.
or longer.
They should have understand why her parents didn't want her to go to trial.
Well,
Maybe
I can see
somehow,
her-
maybe be able to use like going over there and record her interview and just use it like that.
Oh, yeah,
Or
like a
somehow
taped
not
interview.
have her in
Yeah,
the room.
they could have done
Yeah,
Missing,
Crowley.
that. Yeah,
right?
they could have done that. Cody was a crazy asshole.
He was, that's for real.
Well, that was it for this case, guys.
Hope you all enjoyed this episode of the 4 True Crime Idiots podcast. Please rate us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify or wherever you listen to our podcast. And please follow us, the 4 True Crime Idiots podcast, on all of our social media platforms. All of the links will be in the description. Until the next episode.
Stay vigilant.
Stay safe.
Beware of your surroundings.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.